Agony.
Yo, what's up? It's Bro from No Agony, and today I'm going to be breaking down the sample and then a beat I made to it. So here's the sample. Alright, so I started off with this piano. It's pretty simple, but it looks complicated. I just made these chords. Then to get these bass notes, I just copied these bottom notes of the chords and then shifted them down one octave. After that, I just added a top melody, and then I added a few notes in between just to fill it up a bit. The effects on this piano are isotope vinyl. It gives it like an older feeling. It also gives it detuning, and it can make it sound older. I put it to 1980 and the warp to about 50%. I use this plugin called FN Micro. It just gives it a little texture in the background. There's this Valhalla vintage verb, and then I half-timed it. That's why not all the notes are hitting in the piano roll. I added an EQ to cut a bit of the lows that I didn't like from the halftime, and then a flanger. After that sound, I added this vocal. The effects on the vocal are just an EQ. By the way, the piano and the vocal are both from Contact. Then we have this guitar. It's called Ample Guitar L, but they have a free version called Ample Guitar M Lite, and it's pretty good. I recommend it. On that, I didn't even add anything, but it sounded good. So then I added these bells. They're from X Band. They're basically just the same thing as the piano, but I don't think these are half-timed. Oh, they are, but they're on 1/4 instead of 1/2. Just to give a bit of texture on the back. Has Fruity Phaser on it. I put Shaper Box on it just so that it kind of dips in volume a little bit with the filter. Then I added the same thing for texture. I added a reverb and an EQ just to make sure that it's only in the high mids. After that, I was going to add this. It's from Purity, but it didn't make it into the actual sample. But yeah, it's just the sound from Purity. It has some effects on it. And then the last thing I added was this whistle. So the effects I put on that were Fruity Parametric EQ. I took down the high mids just so that it didn't clash, and because I didn't like that frequency too much in the sound. And then I kept the mids and the treble. I did a halftime just so that it gives it a little effect. I didn't put the mix all the way up or anything. So you see, it gives it like that weird bell sound in the background. Then another EQ to cut the lows and the vintage verb. So that's it for the sample. So now for the beat. Alright, so now for the beat. First thing I did was I just got stems from my sample. I put stems at every loop that I make. Then put the sub bass. It's just following the root notes of the melody. Then second thing I added was this 808. I added this kick. So it doesn't hit at the same time as the 808. I did that just to add some balance. And then I added this clap. Then I just added this open hat. To get that effect, it's just an 808 Mafia open hat. I just added a delay and a phaser on it. Then I got this open hat. So if you notice, it doesn't hit the last one, and why I did that is because I also added this block, so it doesn't hit at any of the times that the open hat hit, but then it hits at the last one. I added this accent snare. After that, I added this perk. It just plays at the end. Then I added bounce hi-hat. The way I did this is just went here, I clicked record notes and automation, and I just played it on my keyboard, like whatever rhythm I wanted on it. I usually choose a hi-hat that's lower than the main hi-hat. It just gives it a bit of bounce. And then I added the main hi-hat. So on that, I put loop radiator, and I also put a reverb on it. I turned the wet really down, it's only at 10%. And then I added this automation too. I added it to the loop. So the reason I did that, it's automating this isotope vinyl on it. If you can see, it's like moving up and down. So the reason that I did that was just to give it a little bit more of a real feel. If you get a vinyl, it's not gonna be warping the exact same spots every time. It's not making it like 100% more real, but it just gives it a little bit of a nice effect. I added this halftime for the end and this EQ for the halftime, so it cuts a bit of the lows. Then the rest of the things I added on the loop were vintage verb, isotope vinyl, fruity parametric EQ, just turning up the highs a bit, the mids and the lows. Then I cut some harsh frequencies that I didn't like, so if I turn this all the way up, so it just sounds a bit weird. I just took it down a little bit. See, it just sounds a bit too harsh, so I just took that down. Then I took the highs a little bit down just to make it feel a bit more vintage. Took the mids a little bit up and the lows a little bit down. Not too much though. And that's really it. At the end, here's the halftime. And it fades out. So yeah, alright, that was it for the video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.